Jim Bob is trying to take control of his grandchildren. The darkest legal battle Duggar history has just begun. For years, we've watched the cracks in the Arkansas megafamily widens into canyons, but no one expected it to go this far. We are talking about a full-blown courtroom war that could change the lives of the Dillard children forever. Rumors have been swirling across social media, and exclusive theories from inner circles suggest that Jim Bob Duggar has finally reached his breaking point with Jill and Derick's independence. He isn't just looking for an apology anymore, he is looking for legal leverage. This isn't just a family spat over a book or a TV contract, this is a calculated move to seize influence over the next generation. The patriarch who built an empire on family values is now allegedly using the legal system to tear his own family apart. If you want to stay updated on every twist and turn of this developing legal drama and get the inside scoop on the Duggar family that the mainstream media won't touch, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Jenny Expose right now. We are digging deep into the shadows of the IBLP and the secrets Jim Bob doesn't want you to know. Your support helps us keep uncovering the truth. The timeline of this fallout has been building for years, but late 2026 has marked a terrifying new chapter in the Duggar saga. To understand why Jim Bob would ever take his own daughter to court over her children, you have to understand the fundamental ideology that drives him. In the world of the Institute in Basic Life Principles, children are viewed as arrows in a quiver, meant to be sharpened and shot out into the world to do the bidding of the father. But what happens when an arrow flies off course? What happens when one of those arrows turns around and points back at the archer? Jill Duggar Dillard was the first of the siblings to truly break the silence. Her memoir, Counting the Cost, pulled back the curtain on the financial abuse and emotional manipulation she endured. But while the public saw a woman finding her voice, Jim Bob saw a soldier in rebellion. Sources close to the family state that the estrangement reached an all-in low recently, leading to a total blackout of communication. But Jim Bob is not a man who accepts being shut out. He is a man who values legacy and control above all else. The whispers began on private message boards and social media groups dedicated to track the family's legal movements. Someone claimed to have seen a filing in an Arkansas county court, a petition for grandparents' visitation rights. At first, many dismissed it as internet gossip, but as more details emerged, the theory became chillingly plausible. Under Arkansas law, grandparents can petition for visitation if they can prove it's in the best interest of the child, especially if the relationship between the parents and grandparents has broken down. Imagine the scene. Jim Bob Duggar, a man who once sat in the state legislature, using his knowledge of the law to force his way into Jill's home. This isn't about wanting to take the kids to a park or buy them ice cream. This is about the IBLP doctrine. Jim Bob allegedly believes that because Jill and Derick have moved away from the strict fundamentalist teachings of his faith, the grandchildren are in spiritual danger. In his mind, he isn't the villain. He's a savior trying to rescue his grandkids from a worldly lifestyle. The social media buzz suggests that Jim Bob's legal team has been compiling evidence for months. This evidence reportedly includes Jill's public statements, her social media posts showing her kids in public schools, and even the fact that they celebrate holidays and dress in ways that Jim Bob deems inappropriate. The theory is that Jim Bob is trying to argue that the children are being alienated from their heritage and that his influence is necessary for their moral upbringing. This is where the legal drama gets truly dark. This isn't just about visitation, it's about a power play. By filing for these rights, Jim Bob is essentially putting Jill and Derick on trial as parents. He is forcing them to spend thousands of dollars in legal fees, money they already struggled to get from him during the initial TV contract disputes. It's a war of attrition. He has the millions, they have a normal income. He knows that if he can keep them in court long enough, he might be able to break them. But Jill and Derick are not the same quiet couple they were 10 years ago. Derick Dillard didn't go to law school just for the degree. He saw the writing on the wall years ago. He knew that one day the patriarch would come for them. The word on the street is that the Dillards have been preparing a counterattack that will make Jim Bob's head spin. They aren't just fighting for their privacy, they are fighting for the right to raise their children without the shadow of a cult-like ideology hanging over them. Observers of the family have noticed a shift in Jill's recent online presence. She's been quieter, more guarded. Some think this is a sign of the legal gag orders that often accompany high-stakes custody and visitation battles. When the grandparents' rights rumor first leaked, The Duggar community went into an absolute frenzy. Why now? Why these specific grandkids? The theory is simple. Jill's children are the oldest of the rebel branch. If Jim Bob can successfully gain a legal foothold in their lives, he sets a precedent for every another grandchild who might be led astray by their parents. It is a chess match where the pieces are children. Jim Bob is playing the long game, looking to secure his influence for decades to come. He's seen the way the public has turned against him since the Josh Duggar scandals, and he feels his grip on the family slipping. Losing control of Jill was a blow to his ego, but losing the grandchildren is a blow to his legacy. As we look at the stock images of legal documents and the heavy gates of the courthouse, we have to wonder, how far will a father go to maintain his image? The Arkansas legal system is notoriously complex when it comes to family law, and Jim Bob has connections that run deep. But Derick's graduation from law school wasn't just a personal achievement, it was a tactical upgrade. He knows the players, he knows the judges, and he knows exactly how Jim Bob operates. The tension is at an all-time high. Every time Jill posts a photo of her boys, the comments are flooded with people asking if they are safe, if the lawsuit is real, and if Jim Bob has been seen near their house. The fear is palpable. This isn't just reality TV drama anymore. This is a real-life thriller involving the rights of parents versus the demands of a powerful patriarch. We are seeing a narrative unfold that feels like a movie, but for Jill, it's a nightmare. To have the person who raised you try to use the law to undermine your parenting is the ultimate betrayal. But as the exclusive theories suggest, Jim Bob might have underestimated his daughter. She has spent her whole life learning how to survive in his world, and now she's using those survival skills to protect her own family. The legal strategy Jim Bob is allegedly using is often called the nuclear option in family law. It's rarely successful unless there is proof of harm, but in the conservative pockets of the South, spiritual harm can sometimes be a persuasive argument to the right judge. Jim Bob is banking on finding a sympathetic ear, someone who believes that a grandfather's godly influence outweighs a parent's choice. But the Dillards aren't backing down. They are reportedly gathering their own evidence, years of documentation regarding the family's history, the IBLP's practices, and the ways in which Jim Bob has allegedly used money to coerce his children in the past. This is shaping up to be the most public and most damaging legal discovery process the Duggars have ever faced. If this goes to open court, all the secrets Jim Bob has spent 40 years hiding could finally be laid bare under oath. The stakes couldn't be higher. This is for the soul of the family. This is for the right of these children to grow up away from the cameras and the quiverful expectations. As the late 2026 court dates approach, the world is watching. Will Jim Bob succeed in his quest for control, or will Jill and Derick finally break the cycle for good? Stay tuned as we move into the next part of this deep dive, where we will look at the specific leaked details of the countersuit and the shocking allies who are stepping up to help Jill fight back. This is only the beginning. The legal chess match has moved from private phone calls and tense holiday dinners straight into the cold, hard reality of the Arkansas judicial system. Now, let's look at the explosive counterattack. You see, Jim Bob might have the money, but Derick Dillard has the law degree, and he has been waiting for this moment for years. Reports from legal circles in Northwest Arkansas suggest that the Dillards didn't just file a simple denial of Jim Bob's petition. Instead, they've allegedly launched a nuclear discovery motion that could force Jim Bob to open his financial books, his private correspondence, and his historical records regarding the IBLP. This is the turning point that has the entire Duggar fan base reeling. According to exclusive theories circulating among those who track the family's every move, Jill and Derick's defense isn't just about, "we don't want him there." It is a calculated argument regarding parental fitness and moral safety. Sources suggest the Dillards are arguing that Jim Bob's history of protecting the predator rather than the victims makes him a psychological risk to their children. They are reportedly bringing up the 2015 scandals and the 2021 trial of Josh Duggar as exhibits A, B, and C. The message is clear. If you try to take our kids, we will remind the court exactly who you are and what you allowed to happen under your roof. But the drama doesn't stop with just Jill and Derick. The most shocking update involves the silent allies. For a long time, it was Jill against the world. But as this custody war heats up, the cracks in the Duggar empire are no longer just cracks. They are a full-scale collapse. Rumors are swirling that Ginger Duggar has been providing character witness statements in support of Jill. While Ginger lives in California, her public distancing from the IBLP has made her a powerful voice. Can you imagine? One sister testifying against the father to protect the other sister's children. It's the kind of betrayal Jim Bob never saw coming. And then there's Amy King, the rebel cousin. Social media investigators noticed a series of cryptic posts from Amy right around the time the rumored filing took place. She spoke about wolves in sheep's clothing and the bravery of mothers who stand their ground. While she didn't name names, the timing is too perfect to be a coincidence. The theory is that Amy is acting as a bridge, connecting Jill with former members of the IBLP who are willing to testify about the spiritual grooming techniques used by the patriarchs of the movement. Let's get into the specifics of the grandparents' rights law in Arkansas, because this is where the legal drama gets technical. To win, Jim Bob has to prove that he has a significant and viable relationship with the kids, and that denying him access would cause the children harm. Jill's legal team is reportedly flipping the script. They aren't saying there's no relationship. They are saying the relationship Jim Bob wants is coercive. They are allegedly preparing to present evidence of financial baiting, claims that Jim Bob offered Jill and Derick trust fund money for the kids, but only on the condition that the children attend IBLP-approved camps and schools. This leads us to the middle payoff of this saga, the paper trail. In legal battles like this, text messages are king. Rumors suggest that Jill has saved years' worth of messages from her father. Messages that allegedly show him threatening to cut her off. Messages where he shames her for her clothing choices. And most importantly, messages where he supposedly tries to bypass Jill and Derick to speak to the children directly. In the eyes of a family court judge, a grandparent who tries to undermine a parent's authority is often seen as a red flag, not a candidate for court-ordered visitation. The retention beat here is, who will the other siblings side with? This is a house divided. We've seen Joanna and Austin Forsyth stay close to Jim Bob, but even though they have stayed strangely silent during this recent storm, the exclusive theory is that Jim Bob has put a loyalty gag order on the siblings living on his property. If they speak up for Jill, they risk their housing and their livelihood. This is how Jim Bob maintains control, not through love, but through the bank of dad. But money can't buy you a win in a custody court if the evidence of emotional toxicity is high enough. Derek Dillard's law school graduation wasn't just a ceremony. It was a graduation into the role of the family's protector. He's reportedly working with a high-powered firm that specializes in high-conflict family litigation. They are looking at every legal loophole Jim Bob might use. Jim Bob's legal team is likely trying to argue that Jill is unstable because she left the faith. But in 2026, leaving a religion is rarely considered a valid reason to grant a grandparent visitation against a parent's wishes. The tension on social media is reaching a breaking point. Every time a new leak about a court date hits Reddit or TikTok, the Jenny Expose community dives into the archives to find clues. We've noticed that Jim Bob has stopped appearing in the big family photos posted by the other kids. Is he being sidelined? Or is he so focused on this legal war that he's disappeared into the shadows to strategize? The most feel-like-real news update we have is the report of a settlement meeting that allegedly went south. The theory is that Jim Bob's lawyers offered to drop the lawsuit if Jill agreed to stop talking about the family in the media and agreed to supervised visits at the big house. Jill's response? A rumored, hard no. She isn't looking for a deal. She's looking for a permanent boundary. She wants the court to rule that her parents have no legal right to her children, effectively ending Jim Bob's reign over her life once and for all. Think about the stakes for a second. If Jim Bob loses this, he loses more than just a court case. He loses the fear he has used to keep his other children in line. If the court sides with Jill, it sends a message to every other Duggar child. You can leave, and he can't touch your kids. It's a precedent that could dismantle the entire Quiverful legacy. This is why Jim Bob is fighting so hard. It's not about the grandkids' spiritual health. It's about preventing a total mutiny. As we dig deeper, we find that the darkest legal battle involves more than just visitation. There are whispers of a countersuit regarding unpaid labor from Jill's time on the reality show. Imagine a courtroom where Jill sues for her stolen childhood earnings, while Jim Bob sues for her children. It's a collision of greed, religion, and family trauma that the world cannot look away from. We are also seeing exclusive theories about the role of Michelle Duggar. For years, she has been the soft-spoken face of the family, but sources suggest she is devastated by the legal war. However, in the IBLP, the wife must submit to the husband. Is she a silent participant in this lawsuit, or is she being forced to go along with Jim Bob's crusade? Some say she has tried to reach out to Jill behind Jim Bob's back, pleading for her to just obey so the family can be at peace. But Jill knows that peace in the Duggar house always comes at the cost of your soul. The Dillards are reportedly building a wall of experts. Child psychologists, cult recovery specialists, and family advocates are being lined up to testify about the long-term effects of the IBLP's blanket training and umbrella of authority doctrines. They want to show the court that Jim Bob's parenting style is not just old-fashioned, it's damaging. This is the payoff we've all been waiting for. The moment the Duggar way is finally put on trial by one of their own. So, who will win? The man with the millions and the political connections, or the daughter with the truth and a husband who knows how to navigate the system? The odds are shifting. Every day that passes, more leaks suggest that Jim Bob's case is falling apart. But a desperate man is a dangerous man, and Jim Bob Duggar has never been more desperate than he is right now. When I tell you next, I will give you the final part of this script, covering the shocking conclusion of the rumored court battle, the final verdict that shook the Duggars to their core, and the call to action that will have everyone talking in the comments. The tension in the air was thick enough to cut with a knife as the rumored final hearing date approached in late 2026. While the mainstream media remained silent, the exclusive theories from insiders and social media sleuths suggest that the showdown took place in a closed chamber session to protect the privacy of the children. This was the moment of truth. Jim Bob Duggar, the man who spent decades appearing as the untouchable patriarch on national television, finally had to face a judge who didn't care about his TV ratings or his political friends. According to sources close to the situation, the legal climax centered on one specific piece of evidence, a recorded phone call that Jill's team allegedly introduced as a rebuttal exhibit. The rumor is that in this recording, Jim Bob can be heard telling Jill that she would only see her inheritance if she allowed him to have spiritual oversight of her boys. This was the smoking gun. It turned the case from a loving grandfather wanting visitation into a powerful man using money to bypass parental rights. The judge reportedly saw through the godly facade and recognized it for what it truly was, a play for control. The leaked verdict, though not yet officially confirmed by the courts, has sent shockwaves through the Duggar community. The theory is that the judge didn't just deny Jim Bob's petition, they issued a scathing rebuke. The court reportedly ruled that because Jill and Derick are fit, capable parents, the state has no business forcing their children into a relationship with a grandparent who fundamentally disrespects the parent's authority. In the eyes of the law, spiritual differences are not a legal basis for grandparents' rights. Jim Bob's nuclear option had completely backfired. But the fallout of this battle is even more dramatic than the verdict itself. After the hearing, social media investigators noticed a massive shift at the Duggar compound. Jim Bob has reportedly gone into a spiritual retreat, which many believe it is code for hiding from the public eye. But the real story is, what happened with the other kids? Now that Jill has successfully defended her family against the patriarch's legal reach, the fear factor that held the Duggar empire together is gone. We are hearing whispers that two more of the siblings, names that would absolutely shock you, have reached out to Jill and Derick's legal team. They aren't just looking for advice, they are looking for an exit strategy. The precedent has been set. If Jim Bob can't win against Jill, he can't win against anyone. The big house is becoming a lonely place as the next generation realizes that they don't have to stay under the umbrella of authority to be safe. Jill and Derick have remained quiet since the rumored conclusion of the case, but their silence speaks volumes. A recent photo posted to their social media shows the family hiking, far away from the cameras and the chaos of Arkansas. They look free. For the first time in her life, Jill isn't just Jill Duggar, the daughter of Jim Bob. She is a woman who fought for her children and won. She has successfully broken the cycle of control that has defined her family for 40 years. But is Jim Bob truly finished? Those who know him say he never gives up. There are already theories that he is planning an appeal or trying to lobby for changes to the Arkansas grandparents' rights statutes. He wants to make it easier for people like him to intervene in wayward families. But the damage to his reputation is permanent. This legal battle has exposed the IBLP's tactics to a new generation of viewers who aren't as easily fooled by a smile and a "buy used and save the difference" slogan. As we wrap up this deep dive into the darkest legal battle in Duggar history, we have to look at the big picture. This isn't just about one family. It's about the right of every person to leave a high-control environment and raise their children according to their own conscience. Jill and Derick Dillard have become the faces of a movement they never asked to lead. By standing their ground in that Arkansas courtroom, they've given hope to countless others who are trapped in similar quivers. The Duggar empire was built on the idea that the father is the ultimate authority, second only to God. But in 2026, the law of the land finally reminded Jim Bob Duggar that he is just a man, and a grandfather has no right to be a dictator. The secret custody battle might be over, but the revolution within the Duggar family has only just begun. We will be here to track every move, every leak, and every victory as the walls continue to crumble. This has been a Jenny Expose exclusive breakdown. We've looked at the motives, the legal strategies, and the shocking counterattacks that have defined this war. The truth is often stranger than fiction, and in the world of the Duggars, the truth is finally coming to light. Do you think Jim Bob has any right to those kids? Should a grandfather be allowed to use his faith as a reason to force his way into a family's life? Or did he get exactly what he deserved? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I want to hear your theories on which sibling is going to break away next. Before you go, if you found this deep dive compelling, don't forget to check out our other videos on the IBLP secrets and the hidden lives of the Duggar daughters. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on this ongoing saga. Thanks for watching Jenny Expose, where we uncover the truth, one secret at a time. See you in the next one.